How has your life changed the most? In what ways has your life changed the most in this last weekend?
That's such a funny question because, at the end of the day, I just go home to my dogs and I do laundry, and it feels the same at night. But yeah, I've been hit up by some of my idols, sweet messages here and there. I was in the studio yesterday with a legend. I don't know if I'm allowed to say yet, but it's just so much. God is really blessing me in an insane way. Yeah.
And you've been doing this for a minute already. You've
Yeah.
already had a career, and people already know what
Yeah.
you can do, and you have a fan base.
Yeah.
But then, talk about this invitation to Dodger Stadium
Yeah.
that came because of your new music, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But it happened at a special time.
Yeah, I was already scheduled to do the A's, which was special too. That's my hometown team. So I sang the National Anthem there. And then my manager was like, hey, would you love to do it at the Dodgers? And I was like, are you kidding? Yeah. And he's like, great, you're booked for Saturday, January, that's my birthday. You're scheduled for Saturday, June 14th. And I was like, great, and didn't think anything of it, because I don't think even know King's Day was even announced at that point. And obviously, as we got closer to the date, a lot of things changed, especially in LA. And then a week prior, we emailed, and we were like, can she do both? Because people do 2 anthems at some games,
Yeah.
like if there's an away game or like a different country comes in. And
Sure.
so I started doing my research, and I found El Pendón Estrellado. I didn't know it existed.
Yeah.
That's not in history books, I don't think. It was commissioned in 1945 by the U.S. government under Roosevelt. To honor the Latin community. So I was like, perfect. I was like, I don't have to make these lyrics up, and it's official. So yeah, let's do it. So I was like, we asked. They said you have 90 seconds. I was like, okay, maybe I'll do it in Spanglish then if I don't have time to do both. And then my best friend was the one that put the No King's Day, and she put all that together, and she was like, did you realize that you're going to be there on that day? And I was like, no, but wow, okay. I feel like I really need to do something. I feel like God did that on purpose. What are the odds of that? I could have been booked any other day of the week. And so I was like, great. I was like, I'm going to learn it fully in Spanish. I stayed up, asked my boyfriend, I stayed up all night trying to memorize this song because I didn't want to mess it up. And, went into that stadium fully thinking I was welcome to do it, because all they said was, you have 90 seconds. They could have said, we prefer you to do it in English in that email thread, and I would have declined.
Yeah.
And we wouldn't have had this little issue, would we? So, I still don't really have words. It was only like 11 days ago. So I don't really still have words for like how I got myself to do it, because I'm such a chicken when it comes to stuff like that. But I'm so happy that I did. I really am.
But the emotion even walking out there for even a normal day, for
Yeah.
someone that doesn't have all this going on and was just
Yeah.
doing a bland version of it on a Wednesday,
Yeah.
it's a big deal in someone's career, and there's a lot of
Yeah.
emotion involved. So talk about just all the emotion as you decided to do this, as the
Yeah.
crowd started realizing what was going on.
What was going on? I know. Well, I had my in-ears in, and as you know, when you have your in-ears in, you can't really hear much as far as like the audience. Like I could hear myself clearly, and it wasn't until I took them out that I realized it was a positive reaction. But truly, I think a lot of people think I went out there as like this rebel, and I feel like more than that, I feel like the emotion that was happening when I started singing was just heartbreak. I think I was singing from a place of heartbreak, sadness. I just couldn't believe that we're in this reality where I couldn't even give 90 seconds to the Latin community when 80% of the people in those stands have given you their time, their money, like Latinos, and we couldn't even do this one little super quick thing to give them a little beacon of hope, or just to say that like we're with you. So yeah, it definitely, I feel like the song came out from a place of sadness, but wow, when I took out my in-ears, I was like, oh my gosh. And I got a lot of messages that were like, we were sitting down up until we realized you were singing in Spanish, and then we stood up.
Yeah. Not to mention just the history of Chavez Ravine and that place, and just the spirit of that community and the history there. Just on that level alone, it's an amazing thing. And like, why isn't it done every other day?
Why isn't it just done? Every other day.
Right.
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. So talk about the day after, like.
Yeah.
You start getting calls. People start reaching out to you, and how are you navigating all this?
I never intended it to go to the level that it was. I mean, I've been online a very long time. I post a lot of my life online. So, but I don't think it's a coincidence that this blew up to the scale that it did. I think it was meant to. I think everything's in God's timing. And yeah, I mean, the day after was definitely hard to be on my phone just because I've never had that influx, like that wave of that many people kind of coming in, and I just couldn't believe it. But again, so many sweet messages, and all of the love outweighed all of the negativity that came along with it. And unfortunately for the people who are sending me the craziest things, I've been online a long time, so I know how to navigate.
Sure.
And at the end of the day, I didn't do it for them, so I don't care about their opinion.
Right.
I truly don't. Like, none of those messages are affecting me in any way, and I think God put the perfect person in this position. And
you've been an artist for a long time, so you can navigate the fame that's come with all this too. You have music to back all this up, and you have a career, and you have the confidence to then take your career to the next level, and it's all organic. This wasn't a calculated career move. This is a genuine reaction to what was going on in the world.
You can see it. I mean, like, I also wasn't like dressed to the nines, right? Like, it really, like, I really just went out there, like, I just, for any, you know, because a lot of the negativity is like, oh, she did this on purpose, like, it's all a stunt. I was like, guys, look at how I was dressed. If it was meant to be a stunt, I would have been out there dressed, ready for a photo op. Like, I was in just like, also, so funny, fun fact, the only reason I had that Dominican shirt on was because it's the only blue shirt I own. Everyone thinks I did that as a statement. It is literally the only blue thing I own, of like Dodger blue. So that's why I had it on. So yeah, just those comments make me laugh because I'm like, you can see it in my face. It was so genuine. Like, I don't feel like you can fake that. Yeah,
and now you're part of history.
That is so weird for you to say that.
But it's true.
That still hasn't true.
Yeah.
But I still, like, it's so,
And it means a lot to a lot of people. I've seen, Latin artists perform. I've seen Becky G there and Peso Pluma there, and that was a big deal, and the fan base comes out. And now, you're up at that level in terms of attention, maybe more so because of what you did. Now, sadly, of course, things didn't change overnight for the world or the community. So talk about the inspiration now, how that's going to work moving forward in terms of people that are reaching out to you, in terms of how you can now, take on that mantle to also help, even though maybe that wasn't your goal.
Oh yeah, I mean, now it's like, I'm not afraid anymore. I think now seeing the outcome, it just like, it really just fueled me to keep going, to keep, being a voice for the Latin community. I think if anyone's gonna take anything away, it's just like, oh my God, look at how supported she was. Like, I really was, I was at home posting my Instagram stories just like everyone else. Like, you kind of feel helpless at home. You're posting these Instagram stories with all this info, and like, but you're still feeling helpless. And that's also what drove me to do it. I just felt like I needed to do something more than just posting on my Instagram stories. And I just hope that this really gets people out there and speaking up.
For young people, young women, and maybe if they see what's happening to their own parents and to their families that are afraid to speak out.
Exactly.
And just,
know that there's a safe space here. And the Latin community for sure is going to have their back.